So another important rule is tracking. You've heard me say this before, perhaps, that what gets measured gets managed. This idea that for any of our habits or areas of our life that we want to make progress in or improve, or just have an idea of how much time and energy and attention we're investing there, we need to have some sort of tracking set up. Because what I've found, and I think most people are like this, is if you just go off based on what you intuitively think, we're pretty biased. And usually it doesn't exactly correspond to reality. So I might think I'm like doing all this meditation, or I'm really exercising, my diet's super healthy, I'm not drinking that much caffeine, and I'm sleeping enough. But if you were to actually audit that, might be a little disappointed. Maybe that's just me, and I'm sorry to tell you that. But we should track all these different things. And when we think about like the areas of our life that we do track, a lot of the time it doesn't really correspond to what's most important. Like most of us, we track some things that matter, like our income and our financial stuff, maybe our steps or like a Fitbit. But it's like, do you track how much time you're investing in your relationships with the people you love? Do you track how much time you're investing in your like longevity and mobility and like functional health? How much the amount of time and energy investing in like your mental health with things like meditation or other exercises that you can do? Probably not tracking as much as we'd like to. So when we think about building a habit, right, this goes with having that plan in place. We want to have a system that we can track it. And this is really important, number one, for holding ourselves accountable, just so we know how we're doing. Right? If you're staring at this checklist and you've been going at it for a week and you've got a lot of blank spots on there, you're going to feel a little bad, and that's good because you want to be aware of how you're doing. But the second part, and this all goes back to this behavioral psychology that we're trying to engineer, of that sense of momentum and motivation, is that when you can see these habits stacking up, you feel a sense of greater autonomy over your life circumstances and your internal conditions of your state and how you feel, which is super, super important. So we want to have a tracking system in place, whatever it is that makes our progress visible. So this can be a whiteboard, like I have mine right over there. It can be more of like a kind of a checklist, like something like that I leave sitting out on my desk. It can be, I personally love having the idea of like a cup or a jar that you put like marbles or Skittles or Hershey Kisses into or something, right? So every single day you build that. And then this goes into setting rewards. When you hit certain goals, just for showing up, you can reward yourself. And so again, this goes all back to the same theme of focus on showing up, focus on the repetition, and you can actually observe those changes and that progress over time, which makes kind of the progress you're making, the motivation, the energy, and that positive reaction a lot more conscious. Okay, so whether it's one of the digital resources I shared, printing out a checklist, right, designing some sort of physical thing, make sure you start to get a tracking system in place and make it something fun and easy.